Howdy everyone, it is I, Fable, your new best friend. How y'all guys doing? I love the mini-con so very much. I'm so excited to be doing this video. To be honest, I should be taking a break, but I don't believe in self-care enough for this. I'm not even kidding. I don't care enough, so I'm gonna be watching this video because I love the mini-con. They're my babies, and I will fight anyone who hurts them. Let's go.
Last episode we looked at the biggest bots around. This week we're looking at the smallest in the basics on minicons.
I love them.
Minicons are small transformers about the same size as humans, who often form partnerships with full-size transformers. Introduced in 2002's Transformers Armada, minicons were the central feature around which the series was built.
I love
but they weren't
Armada.
wholly without precedent in Transformers history. Right from the beginning of the franchise back in 1984, the concept of small Transformers partnered with larger ones existed in the form of Soundwave and his cassettes, and other characters defined by their small stature would appear in later years, like the Target Masters, and perhaps most famously the Micro Masters, Transformers' answer to Micro Machines. Two things distinguished minicons from these earlier
Look at them! Look at the little babies, I love them!
concepts. They were marketed as a unique faction
I
separate
love
from the
that.
Autobots and Decepticons with their own insignia, and they possessed a special ability.
I want
They
them.
could
I want to draw
combine
my
with
own
larger
version of a
Transformers
mini-con,
via a
guys.
process known as power linking, increasing the larger bots' power and granting them new abilities. For this reason, both the Autobots and Decepticons sought to catch 'em all, just as kids were urged to acquire the highly collectible little robots to power up their action figures. See, every minicon in the toy line had a circular port that allowed them to attach to special pegs
I miss
on the
them,
larger figures
guys.
that unlocked hidden weapons, lights and sounds, and other play features. Every figure in the Armada line came with its own minicon partner, and additional minicons were sold in teams of 3, which had unique play features of their own, like the ability to combine into weapons for the larger figures to wield. In the Armada cartoon, the minicons were created by the all-powerful monster planet Unicron, who intended for the Autobots and Decepticons to fight over their
don't
power,
remember that, to
allowing
be
him to
honest.
grow stronger by absorbing all the violence and hatred of their conflict.
Damn, it's
In
been
an
so
unexpected
long.
turn of events, however, 3 human children who had been sent back in time from the future made contact with the minicons, leading them to slowly develop independent thoughts and free will. After a few years of war, the now sentient minicons rebelled, and with the Autobots' help, fled Cybertron in a starship, entering hibernation in stasis panels. Their ship crash-landed on Earth, and the panels were scattered all over the planet. Millions of years later, when those same human children found the crashed ship, a signal was automatically sent to Cybertron that alerted the Transformers to the minicons' location, and they came to Earth to renew their war over the little robots.
Every
Minicons were
time.
programmed to be servile. They would bond to whatever Transformer freed them from their stasis panel, and were compelled to follow their commands, Autobot or Decepticon. They couldn't speak, communicating only through R2-D2 style beeps and whistles.
Translation, please?
But some human beings could telepathically understand them, thanks to the role humans had played in their development. In addition to providing a simple power boost for their partners, the minicons were capable of evolving other machines they power-linked with, upgrading and reconfiguring them, which in the case of Transformers meant reformatting parts of their bodies to become
Look, it's
new
Armada
weapons.
Starscream, the best
As the
one.
series progressed, with their human friends' help, the minicons were able to overcome their programming, unlock the full extent of their Unicronian powers, and aid the Transformers in defeating their evil creator. The cartoon offered just one take on the Minicons story. Dreamwave Productions' Transformers Armada comic book
Might have
featured
to look
another
that
very
up.
different one. Here, Minicons were
Look at
native
them.
Cybertronians,
Look at them, they're so pretty. I love them. I think it's the Minicon's fault I like creating so many different characters, even though some of them all look the same. That makes so much sense now, actually.
connected to Unicron, and their ability to power link was the work of the Decepticons, who captured them and experimented on them to turn them into power
That's
sources.
horrible.
The story of their flight from Cybertron and their crash and subsequent reawakening on Earth was much the same as in the cartoon. But the comics minicons were much more independent characters. They were fully capable of speech, they weren't stored in stasis panels, and they had their own personalities, whether they were unwilling slaves of the
Oh
Decepticons,
no.
reluctant allies of the Autobots, or dangerous free agents with their own agendas.
Oh damn.
When Armada came to a close, Minicons ceased to be the center of attention.
I know.
But new Minicon toys continued
Makes
to be
me
produced for
sad.
the two sequel toy lines that followed, Transformers Energon and Transformers Cybertron, which together with Armada comprised...
I'm gonna be completely honest. I remember bits and pieces of of Transformers not Armada. Let's of Transformers Energon. I didn't like it. I don't remember Transformers Cybertron, to be honest. I really don't.
Which together with Armada comprised the Unicron trilogy. They maintained a presence
I might have
in
to
the
look it
comics and
up.
cartoons. The Energon comic implied some of their number had evolved into new Transformers called Omnicons, while the
Ooh.
Cybertron cartoon featured minicons from the colony world of Gigantian. And ancillary Cybertron media revealed that by the time of that series, many of the small robots had retired to independent colonies on Cybertron's moons.
Cybertron has moons?
But their success was not to be confined to the Unicron trilogy. It wasn't long after
Oh.
Cybertron ended before new minicons started appearing in other toy lines and continuities, from Generation 1 to the live-action movie universe and beyond.
Ooh.
With each new universe the minicons appeared in, they were reimagined to some degree. Stories from the Transformers Collectors Club set in the world of Generation 1 depicted them as creations of the ancient Last Autobot, while Japanese media reinterpreted them as just being a kind of Micromaster in some stories, or a kind of Target Master in others.
I made
IDW
sense.
Publishing's comic
mark?
books incorporated them into their stories by making minicons nothing more than a nickname that Transformers used to refer to a different race of alien robots named the Stentarians.
That's many.
This
That's
ongoing
rude.
reinvention of what it meant to be a minicon saw the non-verbal approach of the Armada cartoon largely abandoned in preference of letting minicons speak normally. And the power-enhancing abilities seen
Look
in
at
Armada
that,
weren't
that's so
always part of these new
cute.
stories. Coupled with the way the concept was sometimes conflated with older ideas from Transformers history, being a minicon gradually came to mean nothing more than just being a small Transformer. Special powers were no longer a requisite. This even led several characters of small stature from Transformers history to be retroactively referred to as minicons,
Oh,
like
God.
the live-action movie's Frenzy, or to be
Yeah.
reimagined as minicons in new continuities, as was the case with Soundwave's cassettes in the Aligned continuity. The Aligned continuity in particular was able to incorporate minicons into its world from the very beginning, and it shaped how the concept has come to be treated today. Comparable to Dreamwave's
that good or
comic
bad?
book take, minicons are now treated as regular Cybertronians, just another of the numerous natural subspecies
So,
of
pretty good
Transformers
then.
that exist. Natives of Cybertron's moons who are distinguished from regular Transformers by being small. Their origins lie with Micronus Prime, one of the original
Micronus
13
Prime.
primes from Cybertronian prehistory, and the first minicon from whom all modern minicons are descended. It's been said that minicons live to serve, and they've been known to work public sector jobs that allow them to fulfill that desire, like infrastructure and law enforcement. Some also choose to serve individuals directly by entering into partnerships with them. Borrowing a term that Hasbro had already been using to refer to Soundwave's cassettes for a while, the Aligned continuity dubbed minicons who form these partnerships deployers, so
Aw.
named because they attach to their larger partner's body and deploy from them into action. It was the 2015 Robots in Disguise series that brought minicons back to the spotlight in a way that hadn't been seen since the Armada days. It featured 3 varieties of deployer minicon: Autobot buzzsaws, Decepticon torpedoes, and unaligned, spherical, non-verbal minicons called Cyclones.
I like
Their
them
toys were
actually.
designed with simple one-step transformations and were sold both individually and in packs with their partners, who were equipped with built-in launchers that could deploy them. And as the range grew, they became a prominent element of the cartoon's second season. Deployers didn't possess any power-enhancing abilities like their Armada predecessors.
Okay, hold on, little shark dude, little shark. Look at him, who is this? They're adorable. Seriously, if anyone can tell me who this little shark dude is, I will love you forever, please and thank you.
enhancing abilities like their Armada predecessors, but other groups featured in the series did. The
Look at him!
Weaponizers, who turned into weapons that could boost the power or control the mind of whoever held them. And the Activators, who, like the Armada cartoon minicons, could evolve new abilities in the
Oh,
Transformers
damn.
they were combined with, unlocking new transformations when their toys were connected. Like the minicons of Dreamwave's Armada comic, these special
Hey, it's
powers were the
Grimlock.
product of Decepticon genetic experimentation.
Aw, come on,
One
man.
other unnatural kind of minicon exists in the Aligned continuity. Featured in the Japanese version of Transformers Prime, the ARMS minicons were created when exposure to Energon brought the Transformers' weapons to life. These figures came as model kits with the larger Prime toys, and
Aw.
could combine with one another into new weapons in many different ways. Lastly, IDW Publishing's comics would later incorporate the aligned origin for minicons into their stories, revealing that genuine Cybertronian minicons did exist in addition to the Stentarians. They hailed from a colony established on another planet by
Look at that
Mycronus
art
Prime,
style, that's
but
pretty.
unfortunately, it was wiped out by the anti-robotic aliens, the Black Bloc Consortia.
No.
And the only known survivor, Nickel, joined the Decepticons in pursuit of revenge.
Aw, I mean, I get it,
Of all
but
the
still,
new ideas the Unicron trilogy
no.
brought to the world of the Transformers, there's no question that the little minicons were the biggest. Like the
Oh,
boss
I love
themselves,
them.
the idea has proven endlessly adaptable, power linking onto Transformers history, and constantly evolving in new directions.
I want to watch Armada again, guys. You have no idea.
And those are the basics on minicons. Share some of your favorites in the comments below, and remember to click that bell while you're down there so you can be notified when future episodes are released. Also, sponsored episodes will be back in a month or two, so click over to Patreon and get your suggestions in now.
I'm dying. Sorry, I burped. Anyway, I love you
Or
all. I'll
suggestion.
see you all later, guys. Please let me know. Well, to be honest, I'm gonna probably watch some more minicon stuff because I love the crap out of them. Anyway, I love you all. I will see you all later. Take care. This should be up next week, hopefully, or maybe soon. But yeah, guys, you take care. I'll see you all later. Like I said, I should be resting, but the minicon come first, always and foremost in my life. Bye.